Hi, it's Diane from I&I Studio. Remember last week when I was working on 6 individual panels? I really struggled with those, as you know, and I talked about it as I was working. So I want to show you the outcome. And the solution was I actually wound up putting the pieces together as 2 triptychs. So this is the first triptych. And this is my favorite orientation of the pieces. However, there's a lot of different ways that these triptychs can be put together. Let's try a couple and see what happens. Because these panels are 16 inches by 20 inches, I have the option of turning them landscape or portrait. So in this orientation, I've taken 2 of the 16 by 20s, turned them into the landscape position, put a 16 by 16 in the center. Tell me what you think. That's another option. This is another option. The possibilities are really endless, and they all look pretty great, I think. Individually, not so much. Putting it together as a triptych, they start to talk to each other, and they really sing. So one of the reasons that I like to do triptychs is because of all the options, and that I tend to get better compositions when I am able to, say, put a shape in between 2 panels and then flip the panel. I can get a composition that normally I wouldn't think of, but this in itself is pretty great. And I've got a couple more panels to integrate into this. Let's see what we can get. There's another possibility. We can flip it around. That's something else. Now I've got a big black area on the bottom, which is pretty interesting in itself. I like that. And then I've kind of bracketed it in with this and this, so it becomes a little bit more of an intimate composition. When the ends are bracketed in, you tend to focus more on the center. Let's bring in the blue one. That's a whole different ball game there. Now these are just the horizontal compositions. I can also hang these vertically and get a whole different effect. You even have the option of putting different size panels together. Now that isn't usually my comfort zone. I'm stepping way out of my comfort zone here to do this. But I've seen people put all different kinds of shapes together. So you see the possibilities go on and on and on. And I do think that it is stronger as a triptych than it is as single panels. Another option is diptych. You could choose to just put 2 together instead of 3. So there's 2, single, triptych. I tend to like the triptych, and I'll show you my favorite is the actual one we started out with. These 2 together look beautiful because they flow together and then they kind of stop here. But I think that's a pretty terrific composition. Another thing I like about this composition is the flow of the yellow, creating an arc like that. Now this is upside down compared to how I had it when we started out. Let's flip it over and see what looks better. That's just about my favorite right there. So there you have it. The solution to my problem was putting the panels together in a triptych format. This is 1, and I've got 3 other panels that I can put together for the second triptych. Actually, this piece here was pretty interesting. This is the piece with all the circles that I was working on last week that gave me all the trouble. And eventually, what I did was I kind of isolated the shapes and blocked them off with aquamarine. That way, the shapes became more defined. It wasn't as mushy as it was before, and I felt that worked really well. So there you have it. I promised to show you the solution, and this is the solution. Remember, art is a practice, and practice makes perfect. See you next week. Bye.